Hello again, you're watching the new episode of Hospitality As It Is podcast brought to you by Xenios Academy, the world's first fully gamified training app for hospitality professionals. My name is Igor Besermenji, Global Marketing Director at Xenios Academy, and today we're gonna continue discussing, as we promised in the last episode, mental health, the self-care for hospitality professionals, so basically for all of you. And joining me today again is my colleague, Marco Corallo, Chief Operating Officer at Xenios Academy. Marco, great to have you here again.
Hi, Igor. Thank you very much for the introduction. Everyone, thank you very much for stay tuned with Hospitality As It Is, the podcast from hospitality professional for hospitality professionals. And it's a great pleasure to have here one of the cornerstones of Dubai bartending scene and hospitality, and a very good friend of mine, Emilio Valencia, which is also the beverage development manager at Soho Hospitality Luxury. Hi, Emilio. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me here. I'm good. I'm excited about having this chat with you guys. This is my first podcast ever, and it's a little bit, but yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. It's great to have you here, and we didn't see each other in a long time, and a lot of things happening, and it's been a great occasion now to really discuss mental health. We spend most of our career behind bars, and we noticed how mental health can affect our well-being, and we are going to touch a little bit based on that, and we are going to also discuss how hard it is to be an hospitality professional abroad and be far away from your country. So I'll leave you the step. Like start to tell us like a little bit about your experience behind the bar and how you look after yourself so well. You always seems a very positive individual, no matter what life throws at you. How do I
do that? That's a good question. Look, I've been doing hospitality for pretty much half my life, my full professional life, basically. My mom had a small restaurant back home, so since I was very young, I've always been like around people, and like I like music, and my dad was in music, so I was always, around people. So I'm very comfortable in feeding off and feeding energy. To crowds and to people in general, but as you grow older, obviously your energy levels change and your energy, evolves as you grow. So it becomes harder and harder to do it. I guess in my head, and this is very personal for me, the way it works is when I'm off work, I'm off work. I try to one of the ways that I try to build my teams is my second has to be good enough and well prepared, and we have to have a very streamlined line of conversation, so that when I'm not at work, I'm not at work. He or she can take care of business, and unless it's something super pressing, I try not to engage with work, because it keeps you it's like a reset button when you're off, I think, which is also what I try to do with my teams. When they are off, I never call them on to come and pick up a shift, very rarely, unless there's something that I need to know that happened, and it was that particular person who was on shift. I try not to bother them, because if you're constantly worrying and thinking about your work environment, you're never off, and your brain never gets to filter all that negative energy or all that energy surplus that you get while you're working, because it's such a fast-paced, high-energy environment. So that's what I do. When I'm at work, I try not to go out much, not because because I'm old and boring a little bit, but because we go out to the same places where we work, right?
Yes.
So it's just a cycle that never ends. So if I go out, I try to go to places that I never go in general. Like I don't go to cocktail bars, I don't go to nightclubs. I try to go to pubs or to somewhere in the beach, where I can, where there's open space and I can just let my energy flow and come back. I know it sounds a little bit hippie, but this is the only way that I can put this in words. And also, I think a big part of keeping me sane it's sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
I obviously, because of our way of living, sometimes it becomes difficult for me to engage in my sport, which is Muay Thai, constantly. But I do it as much as I can whenever I can. There's times where I go the full year without, I go the full year training. And there are some times that like these past 3 weeks, I was a little bit sick, so I couldn't go. And I can feel it on my mental health that it's not there, like it's not like I'm in my room, like,
Yes.
but I can see the difference between when I'm actively engaging in sports and when I'm not engaging in sports.
Yes.
I'm a little bit moodier. I'm a little bit, I get irritable a little bit faster. I don't have the same energy levels, and so on and so forth. So having that detachment from work and having something to do that is not related to your work environment, for me and the way I see life, is very important, because that's the way you kind of filter all the field of your brain out.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel the same. For example, it happened to me with gym in particular. I've been in the gym quite a while now, in the last few years. And it just feels like that hour that you dedicate to gym is almost like you're switching off the noise that comes from professional work. And, to our viewers that are coming from hospitality, that resonates because, as you said, and there were like a pattern of never stop in hospitality. Even on your day off, you were always afraid of the schedule or a call or a split shift the next day, so you couldn't enjoy fully your day off. To other industries probably is not the best. So in hospitality, it's been almost this pattern, like never look at the hours, always work. And that's what I love, or what you said is like when you're off, you're off. When you switch off from work, you switched off. And I think that's what keeping you sane. So what would you like to say, to young bartenders, young waiters coming in, and they get into this cycle of like never stopping work, even when they are off, they're going to places where it's all work related. So what is your way of guiding them?
Look, I don't know if I have all the answers, but my mom used to say, we have this saying in Spanish that she loved using, that is, the devil is wise not because he's the devil, but because he's old. So as someone who's been almost 20 years working in the industry, I think, and like the older you get and the more you experience and grow and so on, you get a little bit wiser or a little bit less stupid. I don't think we get like, our way of thinking stops swinging so much, and we start seeing a little bit more clear. And I think like partying is all good, man. Especially when you're young, you have the energy, you have the industry is fun, it's engaging, it's especially, for example, in Dubai, that is very united. It's very close.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't party, like sorry, go for it, but just try to keep a balance since the beginning, because trust me, once you get old, as you grow older, you start feeling all those years of partying and you just free range running, mayhem, which is amazing. Like when I started my career in London, and man, London is a place where you can do whatever you want, like anything you want to party, whatever you want to party, you can party. So for me, I had 3 years when I moved to London where I just didn't stop. It was like I would party until 7 a.m, sleep 2 hours, wake up, go to work, work another night shift, sleep 12 hours, then wake up, go partying. Like it was just wake up, party, work, wake up, party, work, wake up, party, work.
And was there ever a moment that you felt like that this has taken a toll on your health, mental health as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't know if we can discuss it in the podcast. Look, I used to, like I DJ, and I used to DJ in raves back in London. So I used to party in a different way. And at one point, I had a very bad experience. And I was like, okay, cool. I think it's time to stop. And I did, like, cold turkey on the spot. I was like, no more. And it took me a while to process what that bad experience was. Nothing like threatening to my life, just up here. It was, everything just got scrambled.
Yeah.
And it took me a few years to sort of unpack everything and look at it and go like, okay, it was just that. It was just a bad trip, and I can leave it behind and I can continue with my life.
So would you say it's easier or maybe even better to just like incrementally adjust your lifestyle to your work so that you're happier, or you just have to be like hard with yourself and say, okay, today this is how this lifestyle ends and I'm gonna start with something new?
Look, with me, I think I had to stop it like that because I was thinking of living where I was living and then go and live in a squat, and because I was getting very into the scene, which is like all, you know, like very hippie lifestyle and fuck the system and all of this. So I was like, okay, why am I paying rent? Let me go and live in a squad with my buddies and we DJ all the time, and I go to work and I come back and I have the extra money that I don't pay a rent. And I think that if I hadn't had that bad trip and I didn't stop cold turkey, I don't know, man, maybe I wouldn't be here right now. Or maybe I would, but it would have taken me a whole lot more time to get to where I am right now. Which, big or not, I'm happy and I'm making money and I'm, you know, like my teams are happy. I can travel the world. Like I don't have any. I'm not in a position where I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna pay rent or I need to go home. Can I afford it, etc. So for me, I think it had to happen that way. It's not the same for everyone. So I think the way to do it is we know ourselves better than we think we do. It's just sometimes we don't want to see ourselves in the mirror and go like, yeah, we need to have this conversation.
Be honest with yourself, right?
That's a very, very well put, I guess.
True.
We know each other more than we actually want to accept. And, you know, like hospitality is probably, I mean, I was reading several times that hospitality is one of the industries with the highest level of addiction to alcohol, substances, unfortunately. And, you know, like mental health is heavily impacted by the lifestyle of certain industries, particularly like bartending and everything. Chef, great example of this lifestyle. So when you overcome those rough patches of mental health, you know, like when you feel like you are not at your 100%, how do you overcome it? You of course you have to put work in yourself, but you also have to somehow rely on people close to you, right? That are going to support you. And sometimes it's not the case because we are away from home. Most of the people coming here, they don't have that luxury to have their family nearby. And then, you know, sometimes you're missing that. We were talking about anchors before. Sometimes you're missing that anchors, right? So how do you deal with that? How do you build it?
I think living far away, you need a support system that works. Look, in my head, it's very simple. Sadness and grief and all the emotions that we call negative emotions are there, and it's healthy to have them. So whenever I feel sad or angry or disappointed or whatever the negative emotion is, I've come to the realization that when you push it away, it comes back even heavier to you. So one of the things that I've learned through life is you need to feel those emotions, process them, go like, okay, yes, I'm sad or I'm angry. Why? Okay, fuck it. Let's just go through this. And once you come out on the other side, it's like, okay, cool. I understand now why I got sad or angry or whatever. I'm better equipped now to deal with this situation, whatever it is, next time. However, sometimes I feel like it can be so overbearing that, like you said, you need an anchor or a support system. And for me, being far away has always been who I let in very close to my life. I'm not I mean, through the years, I've become less and less of not friendly, of a social person. I'm friendly, but I let less and less people in close because, like you always get a little disappointed here and a little bit disappointed there, and so on.
So you're more cautious.
So you're more cautious, exactly. But a good support system is always important, whether it's your teammates in the gym or whatever sport you do, or your wife or your husband, or I don't know, your flatmates if you live with people, or your friends at work. I don't know, like you need to have a very good support system. Yes. And friendships are super important, super important, especially when they're healthy friendships and it's not just like party. Like you having a friend where you can just call and go like, listen, do you just want to hang out, eat pizza, watch movies? Yes, cool, boom. Because then again, if it's just drinking, it goes again to that cycle, right? Yes. So yeah, and communication. I mean, if you're lucky to have a healthy family life, so I know not a lot of people are lucky. I'm one of the few lucky ones, and I thank the gods always that my family and I are still very united. Having that conversation, like constant conversation with your family is super important because they're the ones who know you the best. Even if you don't see them for 2-3 years, your core is always your core. You might change all the armor around what makes you and the pieces, and change your style and what you wear and how you look and how you speak and so on, but your core is always your core. And your family knows that the best.
Sure.
Yes.
So if you have a good relationship with your family, I think that having that constant conversation with them is super important.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, this may be your first podcast, but I know that you did a few interviews, and I've read them all, and I immediately knew you're going to be a perfect guest for hospitality as it is. And you have emphasized the importance of creativity in your micro world. So you practice sports, you play guitar as well, right? So how does music help you handle the stressful environment in hospitality?
Look, actually, this is like my head just went to somewhere that I wasn't expecting, but I think it's the core of why music is so important in my life, or creativity in general. My dad was in music business. He managed a very big Argentinian musician and philosopher and writer and so on. But he also did other artists. And I was always surrounded by music. He was a big music fan. I'm a big metalhead. So he's the reason why I got into metal. He bought me my first Metallica album when I was like 6 years old. And, my neighbors hated me because I have a funny story about that. Let me just answer your question. And I think music in some way takes me back to when I was a child, and I was like, my family was there, and my dad and my mom, and I had no care in the world. I was just going to school and playing guitar with my shitty band, and just hanging out with my friends, and like listening to music, and it was. I'm from 1986, so. Like we still did cassettes and, running to you heard the song that you liked on the radio and you ran to record it on the cassette and so on. So I think in some way, music gets me back to that point where life was simple and easy.
Right?
Yes.
And it helps me sort of reset. Obviously, it's also an outlet where my brain goes somewhere else. I cannot really explain it, like my mind and my essence and who I am in a more metaphysical way just goes somewhere else when I'm listening to music or when I'm playing or when I'm singing or when I'm DJing. I'm not here per se. Like I can have a conversation, I can talk to you, but my inner child is having fun somewhere in the universe. And it helps me. It helps me a lot to. For me, creativity is your inner child coming to play. Because I did the first competition I ever won was Glenfiddich's most experimental bartender, world's most experimental bartender, and it was a great competition. And there's a reason why I'm going there. So the competition was basically you as a bartender had to pair up with someone else creative from any other industry, whether it be like a watchmaker or a videographer or a actor, a singer, or whatever it was, a chef, whatever. And you needed to create a project that would basically take Glenfiddich to a different level or a different style of people perception of whiskey.
Yes.
And what I did, what me and my project partner did, who was a chef, such shout out to Ruben. He's a chef, and we did edible paint flavor that was paired with an old fashioned. But the idea of how the drink was served is you would get a slate, like a cheese plate, like a stone plate, with an old fashioned with 12, 15, or 18 Glenfiddich, especially crafted for whatever. But the creative part was that you would get the paint, and the idea was for you to paint just whatever came to your mind. And you would take a picture, upload it, hashtag the art of whiskey, and then we would choose a winner at the end of the month. You would come, we'd give you a bottle of Glenfiddich on the house and dinner on us. And the idea was to grow it into an art competition for people who don't consider themselves artists.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know what I mean? And one of the judges in the global final, who was the editor-in-chief for GQ magazine, I think, for Scotland, he said something that really resonated, that I wasn't aware of, but I was in a very deep way. He was like, it's like being a child again, mm-hmm. and painting your mom's your house's walls, you know, like just unhinged, unchecked creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. When we're kids, we have imaginary friends. We build spaceships out of boxes. We drive cars in our beds, and our creativity is just running wild. Mm-hmm. So for me, creativity is taking your inner child out and go crazy, go bananas. Mm-hmm. So if you have a good relationship with your creativity, in my head, maybe I'm wrong, you have a good relationship with your inner child. Mm-hmm. And that is crazy important, mm-hmm. because that's where a lot of traumas and things come from. And the more you have a healthy relationship and you bring your inner child more often to the surface, the better you understand where all those traumas and where all this negativity in your head comes from. Yes. Or at least this is how I see it.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, because when you are a kid and your imagination and creativity is running wild, but somehow you eventually grow and lose that creativity in most of the cases, right? And when you find again that creativity brings you back, it's very powerful, and it happens in a lot of industries where you can express your art, like hospitality. So I love the idea of getting in touch with what makes you happy and what brings back good memories, but at the same time also dealing with what you had in the past and trauma. So it's very beautiful.
But is hospitality like creative industry? Would you call it creative? Does it encourages like creativity?
I think the production side of it does. We've been very lucky, both of us, to be working for people and with people that encourage creativity. I think, and I'm just talking purely from a bar side, but waiters and waitresses and front of house staff, like hosting team and floor team, I think they struggle a little bit more with having a creative outlet at work for mm-hmm. them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're not the ones who are coming up with crazy ideas for the bar or the kitchen. But so it's a very, black and white industry where you're either the creative, which is us, and we get all the awards and all the celebrations, and I'm here to see Marco, or I'm here to see Emilio, or I'm here to see Igor. Very rarely you have someone that goes, I'm here to see X, Y, or Z as a waiter because they have great service skills. And it sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
It sucks. However, for example, when we opened Friends, we gave the design of the uniforms to people who because, man, I don't know what it is about this industry, but it brings, like, everyone I know either sings very good or dances or paints or plays an instrument, it's very rarely you see like, I was an engineer and now I'm a bartender, or I'm a waiter or I'm a waitress, it's very rare that you see that. It's usually the misfits of any other industry, creative industry that didn't hack it in a way, that were like, okay, well, I don't want to have a 9 to 5 day job when you're young. So I'm just gonna do bartending or cook or whatever. So there's so much creative people in your team, 99% of the time. It's just identifying them, what they do, and how can you help them to keep that creative flow going.
Yes.
Whether it's designing the uniforms or design the menus or, like, I don't know, like there's ways to do it. It just depends obviously on the skill of each person. Like, I don't know how would you bring a dancer to a creative part in the restaurant.
Yes.
But I'm sure you can find a way if you really sit down and work on it.
Yeah. And when I want to say something about this, because when we created Xenios Academy, our idea was to celebrate people in the hospitality. And as you said, there are certain part of the job in hospitality that are already celebrated and they are already giving that canvas for creativity. But other professions, like you mentioned waiter, but I would even add housekeeping and front office. Sometimes they are working as hard as anybody else, but there is no celebration, there is no achievements, there is no rewards. And that's something that we created. And we didn't create it just to reward and motivate, but also to create and foster that sense of community. Because sometimes hospitality job could be lonely. Even if you are surrounded by people, it could be kind of lonely. Like, so the way of creating this environment of challenges and rewards, friendly competition and teamwork is all about creating and fostering that sense of community. And talking about being lonely, another big aspect of hospitality. Now, we are in a country like the UAE where we are far away from home, right? But some people work in their home place and they're still lonely because they spend 12 hours at work and they don't see their loved ones as much. But for us that we are in these countries is particularly hard. Now, of course, there is a topic that resonates with everybody, right? And I think from your side, it's something that could be very valuable to share with the rest of our viewers, because unfortunately there is something that we all face in life and is, the loss of loved ones. And sometimes it strikes you more than out of the blue.
Yeah.
And when you are far away, that was one of my, when I'm far away from my loved ones, that's my biggest fear in life. If you feel comfortable, of course, of sharing and motivate, not motivate, there is nothing to motivate, but more like talk to the people that are probably experiencing or are afraid to experience what you did.
Yeah, so what he's asking is, my mom unfortunately passed away over the summer in June. And it was very unfortunate, obviously. But so she had cancer and we found out a year ago. And I don't think anything prepares you for news like that. I lost my dad when I was 18. He died in a car crash when he was at work on touring through the country, and I always thought of myself when my dad died, like, because that's a sudden loss, right? And that is that really just comes out of the blue, and you're like, oh fuck, what? Like, 1 minute you are like, just talking to your family, and the other minute is like, you get the phone call and it's like, yeah, that's gone. And I always thought to myself, like, would I have liked more if I had time to to accept it and get ready and so on? And you don't. Like, obvious for me, when I see myself as a very pragmatic person. So when I found out that she had cancer, I was like, okay, I need to start getting ready for the fact that she's not going to recover, because she had in the pancreas, and that's like a death sentence, basically. But it wasn't the main one. So she was with us longer than she would have if it was pancreatic cancer, main cancer. So I had the fortune to go home in, what was it? October last year, because my brother got married and my best friend got married and another very good friend from my close friends got married, like in 3 weekends in a row, and my mom was already feeling the symptoms of cancer. She couldn't like stay in the waiting for long, and she needed help to walk and so on. But she was still healthy. Like she looked for the past 62 years. And we were like, okay, we're gonna fight as much as we can. If you recover, awesome. But I started to make peace with it, because I felt like if I didn't, and it came to happen, I was not gonna recover but maybe at all. So I started making peace, like I was like, okay, it's the one thing that is inevitable in life. So I took it as I would take all my negative emotions, and I was like, it's gonna happen. Then I was supposed to go see her for her birthday in the 22nd of June, and I got a call from my siblings in May, around May 15. They were like, I don't think she's gonna make it to her birthday, so get your ass here. So I bought a ticket. The next week I was on a plane home, and when I got there, she was already like super skinny. She lost all her hair. Like the contrast between, I didn't see that slope down. That my brother and my sister experienced. So I think that's why it made it easier for me to accept the fact that it was going to happen. Like I didn't see all the struggle. I didn't see all the fight that she put, all the suffering that she went through, because the tumor was pressing against her spine, so she had a lot of pain, and I had with her 1 day of lucidity, and then she went to the hospital, and then from the hospital it was just 15 days, and she was gone. And it's never easy, and it will never get easier. You just get used to the feeling of emptiness that a person that I loved and admired so much. My mom was my everything to me. My dad as well, but it's been already, almost 19 years that he's gone. And it doesn't diminish the fact that I miss him, but my mom took care of us after that. And it was 3 a.m, I would be losing my shit, I would call her, come sis again. It was like such a safe space for me, that not having her for a few days was like, I even called my sister, and I was like, listen, I'm afraid I'm gonna do something stupid. Like I couldn't picture my world without her in it. Then, as everything, I let that negative emotion come, wash me, and I was like, okay, I can either go down and not recover and disappoint her, or I can start picking, because it's all egoistical, right? Like, you're not suffering because she's not here anymore. You're suffering because she's not in your life, or he, or whatever. They're not in your life. You are the one missing them. So it's all selfishness and egoistically from a love. It comes from love, but it's like, yeah, but she's not suffering anymore. And that for me, when she finally passed, was such a relief, because I would see her suffer, and just like, it came to a point where she was like, just get me in a coma. I don't wanna feel this way anymore. So when she passed, it was sadness, but it was such a relief that she was not suffering, that I was like, okay, she's gone, she's in a better place or whatever. Now I can either go down and not recover and disappoint her, or try to live a life where at least I will put everything good she gave me in life and everything good my dad gave me in life in my forefront, and try to live my life like that. Yeah. And make sure that whenever I see people that I love, I really let them know that I love them, and that I've missed them if I haven't seen the person in so long, and that they're important in my life. And I have a very unapproachable face, but I feel very, very, very intensely. So when I see people that I love, I I'm a hugger. I try to hug them like, you know, like close, and yeah, it's just that, man. Take everything good they gave you, take everything bad they gave you, work on that, and then just run with the good.
Yes.
And if there's anyone out there that it has these issues and you cannot connect, like it's difficult for you to travel home or whatever because of money or whatever, there's people willing to help you. If I can, I will, because this is something that I'm very lucky that I'm in a position where I can just go like, okay, 9,000 dirhams, plane ticket, in a week, I'm there. Yeah. But not a lot of people have that possibility. So yeah, that's why I say that your support system is so important, because I know that if I couldn't, I had people that would go like, don't worry, here's the money, you pay me when you come back.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And that's the kind of friendships you need. I mean, yes, you need your party friendships, but you really, really, really need people that when you are in shit, they'll be like, either we sit down with you in your shit and we chill here until you're ready to stand up, and you know, we'll help you make yourself clean and we got out. Or if you can't, but you really, we fucking pick you up and we take you, we clean you, and then we go. Yeah. So that's the support system that you really, really need.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this with us. We could feel that it was really like from the soul, coming from the soul. So that's really important.
I want to thank you for sharing this. And having this kind of conversation is probably the best way to build that understanding and awareness that this is, you know, can happen, will happen eventually, and you know, you surround yourself with love, and the love that can come from within of you. You say like embracing everything good I've been given and everything bad, but live at the best of my abilities for myself and for other people, but also surround yourself with people can help you achieve that, right? Yeah. And that's I think is probably the best way of looking at life and these kind of things.
I think it's like nobody wants to lose anyone, but it happens, and the only thing you can do is surround yourself with people that you love and love you, and especially again, if you have a good relationship with your family is super important. I don't think I've seen or I've heard so many families get destroyed because of inheritances and insurance and money that it's not even funny. Like you just lost your head of the family and you're fighting for money or for properties or whatever. Like, it's ridiculous. If that would have happened with my sister and my brother, I don't think I would have made it out of the situation, because it's like, what the fuck? So what do I have left? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't let money fuck your life. Like, yeah, it's important and we need it, and because that's the world we live in, but be very aware that it's not worth it in the end. Money comes and goes, but the people you love is you who carry you through.
Absolutely. And there is just one thing about you that also caught my eyes in one of your interviews. You said that you would like your legacy to leave people who work with you happier and enriched by the experience of sharing the same environment with you.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like sharing something like that and getting the feedback from the people that you have worked with so far? What do you get from that? Like,
it's very humbling. I don't see myself as a mentor or I've never seen myself as someone who can, be an example, because I was always the one with bad grades, and my dad was always supportive. He pushed me in like the music side, and he was like, I don't care about, just pass your grades, like just pass school. I'm not asking of you to give me A's, or in Mexico it's like 100
points.
Yeah, 100 points. Just pass. Just pass, and I'm sure it's gonna be fine. But I was always, like the weird one in school. I was in an all boys private Catholic school, so there was a lot of rich kids who were nasty as fuck. I was also very, very good friends of mine. but we weren't uber rich. We were okay, but we weren't like that level of money. So I always felt like I was the weird one, short, big head, big ears. I wore glasses. I was never really athletic. Like I play football, but I was on the B team. You know, like I was never outstanding in anything. So one thing I'm good at is which is ironically because I don't feel like that, but one thing that I know I'm good at is building teams and managing teams and developing people I'm very super proud and happy that when I open Clap, there's 6 people out of that team are running their own teams now. And when people come and go and tell me like, yeah, thank you for everything, like you were great and you mentor us and whatever, I'm like, nah, bro, that's all you. I'm just a help. I'm just there to, like you run wild and I'm here to catch you if you fall, but it's all you. Like I think understanding people, like, because for me, there's this stigma in hospitality that I hate, that is you leave your feelings outside the door when you come to work. It's fucking impossible, man.
I remember that when it happened to me, that they say when you change in the locker room and you put your uniform on, you should put a smile because it's part of your uniform. And sometimes you don't feel like smiling, right? And that's not part of your uniform, that's a feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
And exactly. And this is the thing, like, this is also one of the reasons why hospitality tends to become so toxic, because you're so repressed in your feelings, and you have to go and serve a person who is being a dick to you because the butter isn't the butter they like, and they don't understand that you might have lost a relative or broken up, or you're not making rent that month, and you have to find a way to make the money. They don't care. They're there to have their service. So for me, the understanding of people is so important, because, man, if you're here and you're struggling, I don't need you here. And it's not like, yeah, fuck, go home. Like, go sort yourself out. If you need help, I'm here to help you. I'm telling you, I'd rather you come back okay than be at service and it's on the back of your head, just there eating away your brain. And you're not going to be concentrated at work. You're not going to be happy at work. I'm not going to be happy at work, because if I ask you something, you're just going to snarl back at me. So we're going to have an issue. Go home. I'll give you the day. I'll get in trouble with HR. I don't care. You go home. You sort yourself out. You need 2 days. I'll give you 2 days. Come back. And then we sit down and see how you are.
Yeah.
That's why I ask, the one thing that I ask in all the interviews when I am hiring people is honesty. Because if I have all the pieces of the puzzle, I can make a more informed decision.
Yes.
Whether it's to send you home, you're not going to lose your pay for that day, because why would you? If HR is seeing this, but I need you healthy.
Yes.
Because one day you're not going to come back.
Yes.
And you're not going to come back because you're going to go, fuck this work, I'm just tired, I'm there all the time, and everything's shit, and I'm not getting money and whatever. Or you're going to do something stupid, and then you're not going to go anywhere else. You're just not going to be here.
Yes.
So go home, sort your head out, come back. And I think that resonates a lot with people, because not a lot of people do it. So when I have people coming and telling me, like, you help me or whatever, it's very humbling, because I've never seen myself as a mentor. I just need you to be happy.
Yeah.
For you, I don't care, man. I'll let you go and I'll hire. That's my manager machine working brain.
Yeah.
Like, I'll hire somebody else and let's see. But I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'd rather understand where you're coming from and work on what's making you edgy, and then have you here coming to work and we're like, yes, all good.
Yeah, and you mentioned this, like, a smile being the part of the uniform, which sometimes, as Marcus said, you don't feel that way. Which brings us to another thing that you've said in one of your interviews, when you were asked what would you change in the hospitality industry, and you said you would change the approach, grind or die. Do you feel that this is still dominant in the hospitality industry?
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I've seen it more still in hotels, in the way the hotels operate, Like I've done a bunch of interviews in Dubai, right? Sometimes I do them just to gauge the market and see where the salaries are and see where I am standing and so on, and my value to the market, etc. But man, they go like, oh yeah, we work 6 days a week. What? How is that in 2023 still healthy?
Yeah.
Like you need one day to sort your place out and one day to chill. Minimum. That's why I think what LPM is doing, I'd rather work 14 hours a day and have 3 days off than 14 hours a day, 1 day off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
Look
I mean?
after your people.
Yeah. Like they are the ones making money. Why are you squeezing them as an owner or as a manager? Why are you squeezing them to the point where they break and they leave?
Yeah. Yeah. I think looking after your people, and because I'm going to quote Richard Branson here, but he say, look after your people and they will look after your business customers and your business. And that's so true. And sometimes we forget that the people running the show. And I would love to close the episode highlighting something that you said that really is beautiful. And you said, like, it's all you. I'm here to catch you if you fall. And as a role of a leader, I think that's something so important. And it's so powerful. Like, the people are running the show, the employees are serving your guests. The guest doesn't know what's happening behind the scenes. They are there because maybe they have their own stuff to sort it out. They want to go out and enjoy. So if you look after your people, you just create this beautiful energy. And that's what the beauty of hospitality is, right?
True. Amazing episode, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Emilio, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you for sharing everything, the good and the bad. And this is what we want to achieve. Raw talk that could give value to the people listening to us, and let them understand that we are not alone. Nobody's alone in this business. They can always build their own group.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. I want to just thank you for doing this platform. I think it's missing in hospitality, and the fact that you are actually tackling the topics that need to be tackled, it's amazing. And if whatever I can do to help, I'm here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Emilio, and we'll continue to do that. And thank you guys for watching us today. But as you know, we will be back very soon in the new episode.
Thank you.
Peace.